not only did we have to make it into space, but we had to project the perfect American family image to the rest of the world. And this is exactly what these wives did, even when things weren't picture perfect at home. My name is Lily Koppel, and I'm the author of the Astronaut Wives Club, about the wives who were married to America's original astronauts.
America's 7 Project Mercury astronauts are narrowed down to 3 finalists in the race for the honor and the risk of being the nation's first man in space.
On April 9, 1959, the Mercury 7 astronauts were announced to the world. And for years, we've only heard the men's side of the story.
If a man were inside that capsule, could he survive the flight?
In a way, they were like America's first reality stars. When you have the space program kick off during the Cold War, these women really held up the whole public relations angle of the program. They're being covered by Life magazine, and in the first feature on the wives, Annie Glenn got the lead. That's because she talked about her faith and going to see her minister and asking him if it was okay for man to explore God's heavens. So she just gave America the apple pie image that they often demanded. Then there was Reen Carpenter, who was sort of the blonde bombshell who JFK would make clear was his favorite of the astronaut wives, and she was beautiful and witty and opinionated. And then there was Betty Grissom, married to astronaut Gus Grissom. They were both from Indiana and a little bit less sophisticated than the others, but always said what they thought.
Well, my wife feels the same way, or of course I couldn't be here.
Starting in the early 60s, they would form the Astronaut Wives Club, where they met for tea and coffee and cocktails and just to share a cigarette or a tear, and were really part of this exclusive group of women who had husbands whose day job was sitting on top of a rocket. Once many of the husbands came back from the moon, a lot of the marriages fell apart.
We're now in the approach phase, everything looking good.
I spent a lot of time with Joan Aldrin, who was Buzz Aldrin's first wife, Buzz being the second man to walk on the moon. And Joan said, I think things will eventually return to normal. And Buzz just looked at her and said, listen, Joan, your wish is naive. I've been to the moon. Things are never going to be the same.
We feel that this stands as a symbol of the insatiable curiosity of all mankind to explore the unknown.
They still meet for reunions. They go on cruises together. They continue to support each other. And I think they've really remained closer than the astronauts.
Yes, indeed. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
What I found when I looked at these women's stories was that these were really the quiet heroes back at home, and they really never were given the credit they deserved.